Morgan Summers here. I am the artist, muralist, illustrator, and all-around oddball behind a beautiful mess here on YouTube. And today I wanted to come on it and share a couple of my favorite classes that are currently on Skillshare. I wholeheartedly believe that something that has gotten me to this point in my career is that I have an enduring curiosity for both things that have to do with what I do for work and sometimes not so much. I've taken online courses on hand lettering, embroidery, type and design, social media management, business planning, and so much more. Because I want to share these resources with you guys, and I want to show a little love to these creators that I admire so much, here's a breakdown of my top few courses available on Skillshare right now. The first class I would like to highlight is on embroidery, and for me, about my personal color choices and palette. That class is called Painting with Thread, A Beginner's Introduction to Embroidery by Danielle. Clough. Danielle makes embroidery a super approachable medium, and it's something that I'd seen people be really picky about and finicky about the right way to do it, and she totally throws all of that out the window, which makes it really fun to work on and a process of self-discovery more than anything else. I learned so much about what I seek out in designs and what I tend to avoid because there is such an open-ended prompt list for each of the projects in the class. Even if you don't particularly want to practice embroidery, Danielle's intuitive choice of colors really helped open my eyes to different choices for light and shadow than I had assumed in the past. This class really pushed me outside of my comfort zone, but I can honestly say that I'm now embroidering not as part of my main art practice, but I've learned so much from what I pull from embroidery in my own digital and mural designs as well. I really want to, in some ways, meld the craft style, and I've been using a lot of circular canvases lately, which I think is inspired by having taken this class and diving into the world of embroidery a little bit. If you watch this course and enjoy it, she even has an intermediate embroidery class on Skillshare as well, which I super love because it talks a little bit about abstraction, which is so unfamiliar for me, but again, her warm personality makes it easier to embrace and give a try, at least. The second course I'd like to share with you guys is on illustration, but also maybe again, mostly on color, and that is the One Palette Illustrator course by Froese. I'll be the first to admit, I'm not a one palette woman myself. I use widely ranging, but often systematically similar color palettes between all of my client work. But having taken this course, I do have a better understanding of what colors I'm drawn to on the majority of projects, and I feel better prepared to make decisive choices for the color palettes I use in my own personal work. Tom walks students through a step-by-step process through this course to the end goal, rather than kind of waxing about an idea and then assigning something that never gets discussed again. And that kind of hand-holding, flow of the course is something that really works for me. I don't feel like I'm just watching videos to no end. There is a goal in sight, and we take small steps to get there. It does really help that Tom's illustration work itself is stunning to look at as he's teaching the course. But he also has lots of other courses available on Skillshare. I believe there's an Odd Bodies course and some other options that I plan to start on as soon as possible. The next course I'd like to present to you guys is one on more in the design realm, but also talking about type, and that is customizing type with Draplin, creating wordmarks that work. All right, we all know. Well, maybe you don't know. I'm a huge fan of Aaron Draplin. I come from the graphic design world, so I was exposed to his, I was introduced to his content a lot earlier on than all of the art-centric things that I've learned. I don't think there's anything Aaron Draplin has put out that I haven't enjoyed, but his Skillshare classes are some of my favorite content of his. Each video is casual and it feels like you're just sitting down in his studio with him. But that being said, each has been packed with tips that I use every single day whenever I'm doing more design-oriented work. This particular course of his helped introduce me to the world of drawing letters in general and how to modify type while keeping some legibility rules in mind. But honestly, I could put any of the courses that he has on Skillshare on this list and recommend it wholeheartedly. If you've got time to binge, my other top two Draplin Skillshare courses have to be Design Great Stuff, which is about how to make merch, and Illustration with Draplin, which is about a thorough iterative process and how to organize that in Illustrator. The final class I'd like to share with you guys is actually about video editing. This course is titled Advanced Video Editing, Essential Graphics and More in Premiere Pro. I thought I knew enough about editing in Premiere, but this course by Hallease Narvaez taught me so much that I didn't realize was essential to editing video. She does a great job of demonstrating how to take edits from amateur to professional with a few key things in mind. Her explanation of editing theory, which I had never heard of before this class, was really digestible and understandable for someone totally new to the subject. A couple of the most interesting things I learned about in her class, and again had never heard of before, was how to edit on blinks to make something feel natural, and how to use J and L cuts. See, like I just did it. I just did a cut right there. Another thing I really appreciated about her course is that she provided video footage that you could test the practices from her class with, which is really nice because then I could get right into Premiere and practice these things without having to scrounge up my own footage from scratch. If you want to learn how to edit from absolute zero, she also has a great beginner's course that I took before this one, but learning about the theory behind editing and specific, more cinematic style editing is what put this course over the top for me. Well, there you have it, folks. This has been a handful of my favorite courses on Skillshare. On Embroidery and Color, Painting with Thread, Modern Embroidery for Beginners by Danielle Clough. On Illustration, The One Palette Illustrator, Discover How Color Works in Your Art by Froese. On Design and Letter Shaping, Customizing Type with Draplin, Creating Wordmarks That Work with Draplin. Finally, on Video, Advanced Video Editing, Essential Graphics and More in Adobe Premiere Pro with Hallease Narvaez. I can't stress enough how much I find that continued learning brings value to my career and reinvigorates my creative process when it needs a little shaping up. There's so much we can learn from the generous contributions of other artists and creators, and I will be paying my low monthly fee to Skillshare to keep it up for as long as they are a platform. Gosh darn it. Also, it is a tax-deductible expense, just throwing that out there. Let me know if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, and if it is, I just might share a few more of my favorite Skillshare classes down the line. Or if you have a favorite class on Skillshare that I didn't mention here, please drop it down in the comments so I can look it up and get curious about what you're learning. Thank you guys for joining me for this video. I hope you're having a great day and making things and doing stuff you like to do, and yeah. I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Salem, I need you to pick a spot. Is this where you want to be? Yeah, go learn something. What are you doing here anymore? This is the end. Get out of here. Bye!